So was the 8th grade team, because I guess then you go to 9th grade, you're in high school, like was the chess team or like you're not coming back? You're not repeat champion?
Yeah, so really
Did you stick it out?
Nah, so once I left middle school, then I went on to 9th grade and I went to John Marshall High School. Football became more of a realistic thing for me. Obviously, I'd already been playing it, but there they really frowned upon you as a student athlete playing another position, like not another position, but another sport.
Just another sport or another activity.
So there were two sports they really wanted you to play in if you played football: track and football. So if you played football, we want you running in the spring, right? Working on your conditioning. But if you wanted to go play baseball, if you wanted to go play basketball, man, some of those sports our coaches kind of frowned upon. Yeah. But there were a few players that still they were just like, we had Indequay Kalu, he played for the Houston Texans. Actually, definitely need to get him on here as well.
Yeah, we got to get him on.
Big Indy, he's in Houston right now. Okay. But he was like our 6'5" defensive end. He was a lean guy. He wasn't a real big guy, but just tall, right, and athletic. And so he played basketball, ran track, threw the shot put and all that stuff like that.
Wow,
he did all those big things like that.
Look, you can't stop the Bo Jacksons and the Deion Sanders and like even people like John Elway. Like, he got drafted to play baseball and then he became a quarterback. Like some athletes are just undeniable.
That's it.
And they're going to be successful at whatever they choose to play at the end.
And they're
of the
different.
Day.
Like I went to college with a particular guy, pretty famous at the time that we were playing. Incredible in terms of the things and accolades that he had in college. Ricky Williams, running back.
Heard of him? He's a guy.
Yeah, he was out of California.
Sure.
And I remember when Ricky came in, and remember I'm older than Ricky, so Ricky and I, we only played 1 year together, which was my senior year. And again, he was coming in, obviously taking over the running back position, and him and Sean Mitchell as well. And Ricky was a different guy when he came in. When I say different, minus the things that we learned later that, he liked to smoke and things like that. And he took that journey, abroad to find himself and stuff like that.
Sure.
But as a college teammate, man, you always knew something was different about him. And that's what I'm saying. The guys that play like two-way guys where they can play two sports, a two-sport guy, there's always something different about their mechanics, about how they run.
Their body shape.
It's just these intangibles that are just different. But you as an athlete, there's like something a little different. Yeah. Like he can do that and this, where you're really good at doing this one particular thing. They have that ability, you know what I mean, to do two things.
They could even have the choice. All right, to put the off-season aspect of this to bed, any off-seasons just get off the rails, man?
Yeah, a lot of drinking happens in off season. Yeah. And a lot of times guys have been so disciplined. And these are for the guys. So, you have those guys that they're drinking during the season. It don't matter.
Which we were talking off pod, by the way.
And some of those guys end up not wrecking your season, but they end up wrecking their career.
Sure.
Because it's something that they can't, adjust to. But for the guys that have been so disciplined, they go ham. They go ham, and so they're just waiting for that Mexico trip or that Hawaii, going to Hawaii, to where they're really going to let loose, and it's funny because they haven't been drinking like that. They've been so disciplined, so it doesn't even take but maybe 2 drinks, you know what I mean? And they're already gone.
Yeah,
they're toast. And I think that's the part that they don't realize it, you know what I mean? It's just their body hasn't acclimated to that. And I know we got to get through these segments because what is reminding me, we have one of the guys that's giving us the 5 and 5 until it's hey, 5 minutes, we got to give it a set. Look, Mark, it reminds me of this movie.
But don't worry, we're going to blow that guy off.
The Ray Charles movie. I think it was Ray Charles movie.
Yeah, okay. Jamie
Foxx.
Crushed it.
And you remember when Ray Charles would like find the guy's 5?
Yeah. Okay, so the fines, before we started taping, somebody did something. I was like, put some money in the glass over there for our guy working. So did you guys have that?
Yeah, so we had that accountability as a player, And one way to keep a player accountable is to get in his pocket.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how much. I don't care. You could take the richest guy on your team. If you're taking $5 or $10 from him, he's gonna have a problem with it. You know what I mean? But then he'll probably go spend something ridiculous or crazy on something else. But it's funny, like just to keep guys accountable. It's like, if we're practicing and this is like a really huge game, right? And we need that attention to detail, then guys will find each other. Meaning that, like, if we're in practice and you jump off sides, go put $5 in the cup. You get it. Quarterback throws an interception. Well, I don't care if it's practice. Go put $5 in the cup. Wow. Those stakes get larger when it comes to the game.
Where does that money go? Who gets that money?
Usually it's probably
Coach
divvy
Meals
up.
Hey, Christmas gifts for the kids.
So you remember we talked about like barbecues and
okay,
guys
so like
that cook on the team and getting together.
That's
so
cool.
Usually they'll reserve that money for something like that.
Okay.
Or reserve that money for like a player that's on scout team.
Help them out a little bit.
That's
super cool.
You see what I'm saying? Help them out a little bit. Because the guys that have the opportunity, they're talented, but they're not given
half step away.
Yeah, they're just a half step away and they're not getting that look.
Yeah.
But they're showing up every day. They're doing everything
working
right.
Hard.
They're working hard. You know what I mean? They're not goofing off and not knowing what the play is. And even though they got to just basically stand there in a scout team and run the position, and literally they got to run to a position to get blocked. It's not even like they can be an athlete right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's even more difficult.
Human dummy.
Can you imagine being an athlete and you're on a scout team and you're there to try to show the team what you can do, but you're reading the scout plays and it says line in the linebacker position and run out to the edge and stand there and get blocked. You know what I mean? So it's that part is tough. You know what I mean? And for guys that are, for any player that has gone through that, it's one of those things where it humbles you.
Yeah.
And that's where you get these guys that come up out of those situations and become starters because they've been at that situation where they've seen I've seen I've seen the worst part of, being in this situation, and so they take full advantage to get out of those situations. Breaking news from Bet365. New customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. Sign up, place a bet for $5 and get $150 in bonus bets. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, player props, futures, and so much more.
Hey, do you have a gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER in Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Virginia. Or 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. 21 plus only, 18 plus in Kentucky. Please gamble responsibly. Must be present in Arizona, Colorado, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, and select parishes in Louisiana, Maryland, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Virginia. $10 minimum deposit required. Terms and conditions apply. In-app only.
This has been a Playmaker production.